Well, 28 veterans from the Tri-States got the trip of a lifetime today. The Great River Honor Flight took off around 2:15 this morning, heading for Washington, D.C. The heroes on board got to visit memorials erected in their honor. Our Washington Bureau reporter Molly Martinez was there and has more on their trip.
There are 58,000 names on the wall behind me honoring those who fought and died during the Vietnam War. But of those 58,000 names, today 2 brothers came looking for one.
A day of reflection at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Nearly 7 decades ago, brothers George and Bill Devers answered the call to action when the United States entered the Vietnam War.
We was out drinking one night, and they said, we're going to straighten that mess out, and we all volunteered the next day.
But not everyone who fought the war with these brothers made it home.
I can't find him yet. His name's George Rice. He was my crew chief, flight engineer. He was a great guy.
George came to Washington to find his friend. After a long search, he found him, immortalized in the marble. It's a bittersweet moment, and a day he says he'll never forget.
We came into the airport to see 200 people clapping for you. They didn't do this back in the 60s, though. So it was tear-jerking.
In Washington, I'm Molly Martinez.